Good morning. It is my honor and distinct privilege to welcome you all to this inaugural National Dialogue on Decentralization and Responsive Governance. This year marks 37 years since Ghana first embarked on the bold path of decentralization reforms to herald the Fourth Republic. As we assemble at this critical juncture, it's fitting to pause and reflect on our collective journey. Therefore, this dialogue provides us with a unique platform to review our achievements, confront our challenges, and explore new opportunities for strengthening decentralized governance in Ghana. Your Excellency, Madam Chair, over the next 2 days, we'll take stock of what we have accomplished, identify gaps and bottlenecks, and chart a way forward for a more effective, accountable, and responsive local governance system. The choices we make now will determine whether decentralization fulfills its promise of empowering citizens and transforming communities, or remains an unfinished journey of unrealized potential. Your Excellency, let me first convey our deepest gratitude to you for joining us this morning. Your presence here demonstrates the highest level of political commitment to Ghana's decentralization and local governance reforms. Prof, we're grateful. To all you present, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to each of you for honoring this invitation. Your presence here today is testament to your commitment to building a more inclusive, accountable, and responsive local governance system in Ghana. I wish to acknowledge our development partners, civil society organizations, academia, and traditional leaders whose consistent financial, technical, and intellectual support has sustained Ghana's decentralization journey over the years. Without you, we couldn't have done it. Prof. Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to extend my profound appreciation to the team of experts who are leading the development of the National Decentralization Policy and Strategy for 2026 to 2030, led by our own Dr. Esther Ofe Abuaji, and our father of decentralization and eminent Professor Kwamina Ahoy as oversight consultant. I thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana's decentralization journey formally began in 1988 and was subsequently given constitutional expression under the directive principles of state policy in Articles 35(6)(d), which states that Ghana shall make democracy a reality by decentralizing the administrative and financial machinery of government to the regions and districts, and by affording all possible opportunities to the people to participate in the decision-making at every level in national life and in government. Chapter 20 of the Constitution further mandates that Ghana shall have a system of local government administration which shall, as far as practical, be decentralized. Ladies and gentlemen, this vision has since been reinforced through legislation such as the Local Governance Act, Act 936, the PFM Act, and operationalized through policy frameworks, strategies, and fiscal mechanisms such as the District Assembly's Common Fund. Collectively, ladies and gentlemen, these have empowered district assemblies as the fulcrum of local governance and expanded opportunities for citizen participation at the grassroots. Your Excellency, we must remind ourselves that decentralization is not an end in itself. It is a means to better governance and improve livelihoods. Scholars argue that devolving decision-making authority to the local level enhances efficiency and responsiveness because local governments are better placed to understand and respond to the needs of their communities. Yet, experience both in Ghana and globally teaches us that the expected benefits of decentralization are not automatic. Without adequate financing, strong institutional capacity, and robust accountability mechanisms, decentralization risks becoming a hollow promise, raising expectations among citizens but falling short in delivery. This is the challenge before us today, Your Excellency. Ensuring that the structures we have built are not only legitimate in law, but also effective in practice, capable of meeting the aspirations of our people. Prof. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, these insights resonate strongly with Ghana's experience. While achievements abound, fiscal constraints limit the capacity of assemblies to deliver effectively. Administrative overlaps and turf wars erode efficiency, and political decentralization, particularly the election of MMDCs, continues to attract debate. But thankfully, government has made the decision, as captured in the manifesto, to ensure that we take the path to the election of MMDCs. These tensions are not unique to Ghana, but these reflect the delicate balance between devolution of power and the preservation of central oversight. Your Excellency, Professor Chair, in all of this, the principle of subsidiarity in decentralization remains supreme. It requires that decisions directly affecting people should be taken at the level of implementation and should involve the participation of the local people who are directly affected by those decisions. Your Excellency, the principle also requires that public service should be provided by the jurisdiction having control over the minimum geographic area that would internalize the benefits and cost of such provision. This is the principle that has driven the traditional local government functions, which have historically been assigned to local authorities, including here in Ghana. Every human is born. So in most countries, the function of registering the births and deaths of people is a local authority function. Every human being goes to the toilet and urinates. Pardon me. So liquid waste. So it's a local authority function because liquid waste must be managed. Every human goes through the toilet. So solid waste management is a local authority function. Every human being creates filth. So solid waste management is a local authority function. Every human being at one time or another buys or sells from the market. So market management is a local authority function. Every human being at one time or another uses public transportation. So the administration of lorry parks and city transport systems is a local authority function. Finally, every human being dies and must be buried. So cemeteries are a local authority function. Therefore, decentralization in essence facilitates and creates the foundation for a quality of life through our journey of life. Next to these natural local authority functions, the two next governmental functions that affect nearly every human being are education and health. Your Excellency, more so in basic education and primary health care. It is therefore very unusual to have any serious decentralization program under which education and health are not decentralized. In this regard, His Excellency the President has directed that these be prioritized and achieved within the shortest possible time frame. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this dialogue, Resetting Decentralization for Responsive Local Governance and Effective Service Delivery, reflects exactly this urgency. It reminds us that decentralization is not a policy luxury, it is a democratic necessity, and we owe it to the people of Ghana to decentralize and provide efficient and effective services at the local level. This dialogue, therefore, comes at the right moment in history. With the formulation of the National Decentralization Policy and Strategy, we have an opportunity to reset decentralization for responsive governance and effective service delivery. The chosen theme is not only timely, but urgent, reminding us, as Oates did, that decentralization, when well designed, would ensure it's a democratic necessity that ensures inclusion and justice for all citizens. Your Excellency, our dialogue today brings together some of the finest minds in governance, policy, and practice, and I am confident that the outcomes will provide a strong, well-designed foundation for deepening Ghana's democratic and developmental gains. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on this important exercise, let us remember that decentralization is not self-executing. It requires careful design, consistent political will and commitment, and continuous adaptation. Let us therefore commit ourselves to tangible actions and practical solutions that bring government closer to the people, improve service delivery, and transforms communities in measurable ways. Therefore, our discussions over the next 2 days, Your Excellency, should focus and would focus on the following critical areas. First, we must address the persistent challenges of institutional coordination, ensuring that all actors across government and beyond work in harmony for the benefit of our citizens. Second, we must develop innovative strategies for resource mobilization so that local governments are empowered to deliver quality services. Third, we must continuously improve service delivery to meet the expectations and needs of the Ghanaian people. Finally, we must deepen citizens' participation, power to the people, making sure that every Ghanaian feels heard, valued, and represented in the governance process, and that funds must follow functions. And let history record that this dialogue was not another meeting or talk shop, but the moment when Ghana pressed the reset button, setting decentralization firmly on the path to deliver equity, empowerment, and effective service delivery for all. As we begin this important conversation, Your Excellency, I am confident that the outcomes of this dialogue will provide clear direction and renewed momentum for our decentralization agenda. Indeed, there is no better time to deliver decisively on the decentralization agenda than when an NDC government is at the helm of affairs, and more so when we have a president who is a staunch ambassador of decentralization. Prof. Chair, Your Excellency, on behalf of the IMCC, I thank you once again for your presence and your partnership. On this note, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the National Decentralization Dialogue. May our deliberations be impactful, be fruitful, and inspiring. I thank you.